Hey, it's the Terminian Hero here, and we're playing some more Metroid Prime. Now, in the last video, we spent forever scanning stuff in the tutorial area of the Frigate Orphan, and then when we landed here on Talon 4, we checked out that little important pathway up there, although there wasn't much to see yet, because we didn't have the missiles to break down that one blast shield. Now I'm gonna head this way for something else we can't do yet. And hey, look, we're scanning already. Blastcap. Volatile chemicals within this weed's toxic fungal cap may explode if agitated. The poisonous flesh of the Blastcap helps keep it from being eaten. It also detonates its fungal cap when it senses even slight contact. So basically they'll explode on us if we get close. This rock formation blocks most of the tunnel, but there is a small opening near the floor, so we need Morph Ball for that, which we don't have. But yeah, that's pretty much all that's over here. Until we have the Morph Ball. Yeah, there's the tunnel you'd roll out if you went through that one tunnel I showed earlier. The one right back here. Which you can scan, I thought you could. Anyways, though, let's actually move on with our lives now. Got a new enemy here. Of course, it's a new area. It's gonna have new enemies. This is a Beetle, burrowing insect with a resilient carapace, extremely aggressive. Insect's massive mouth enables it to tunnel through solid rock at high speeds. Above ground, beetles can cover short distances rapidly. They attack anything that moves near their lair. So these guys are not hard, just shoot them down. They'll try to charge at you. Like that. But they are not difficult by any means. I know there's a thing to scan here. Cause yes, I do scan everything every time I play a Metroid Prime game. I am crazy. It's not just me doing it for the videos, although I am also doing it for the videos. Sap Sac. A chemical reaction within sac produces violent explosion when agitated. Because of its irresistible odor and sweet nectar, the Sap Sac was nearly eaten out of existence. The evolution of an explosive chemical sac saved it. Now only brave or ingenious creatures dare to devour it. Oh look, I just made a species go extinct. Not really. But here, we've got more research. Large energy replenishes 20 units of energy. I'm pretty sure later on that's gonna be called medium energy, because I think large energy is gonna be worth 50 in a later game. Over here, we got a surface that's too smooth to be natural, which is more important than it sounds. And in addition to all this, foreign technology present in some incoming scan data. Active transport located. So that's like a little guide that this game has that tells you where to go. So it's basically telling me there's an elevator coming up, and that's where I need to go. But first, let us scan the Goombas of the Metroid universe. Zoomer. Anchors itself to walls and other surfaces. Avoid contact with spikes. A basic nerve center located directly above the zoomer's mandibles detects nutrients. Sharp spines protect it from casual predators, but the lack of a reinforced carapace makes the zoomer vulnerable to any indirect attacks. I mean, I say that these are like the Goombas of the Metroid universe, but they honestly act more like Spike Tops from Super Mario World. Not so much like Goombas. And now we've got the red ones, the Geemers. Wall-crawling mollusk with retractable spikes. The Geemer is an evolutionary offshoot of the Zoomer family. When threatened, it extends lethal spikes and retracts its head deep into its armored carapace. Now, we can't actually destroy this thing right now. We could if we had, you know, missiles or any number of other weapons. But we don't have what we need to destroy those yet. Not that it's, you know, super important for us to destroy them. So this is not the way we should be going, I know that. But it does allow us to scan this thing. Bloodflower, able to eject toxic spores. Toxins are poisonous even to the Bloodflower itself. 3 mouth nodules protrude from the stalk beneath the flower, each with a rudimentary brain cluster and the ability to spew toxic fumes at anything within a 5-meter radius. The spores ejected from the stigma at the center of the flower are sufficient to kill this creature if they explode in its vicinity. So just hit the poisonous ball back at it, and it kills it and makes it explode, and the Sap Sac's exploded, further harming that species' chance to survive. But we can't go this way anyways, because we don't have missiles. And yeah, these Tangleweed here, they just slow you down. They don't hurt you, but there is a variant of it later that will hurt you, so be wary of that. Also, I'm wasting more time on a scan because I know we can get it from here. Because I saw it. Oh, actually, there's this scan as well. Yeah, these large branches have been forcibly intertwined, forming what looks to be a bridge structure. That is evidence of some sort of civilization. So that's kind of important to point out. Stress fractures can be detected throughout the surface of this sandstone wall. Note that sandstone is in red. Now, if we go into our inventory here, we don't really have any special weapons right now, but some of these notes on these weapons would tell you what type of material a weapon can break. But I don't think they'll tell you what type of material. Like, it'll just say question marks rather than the material, unless you have scanned the material already, or maybe unless you've broken the material already. I'm not sure, but that kind of thing does get filled out from you scanning stuff. So it's important to scan it and learn what type of material is broken by what. Access to Chozo Ruins West granted. Sounds good to me. We are already no longer going to be in Talon Overworld. Talon Overworld has much more to it than what we just saw, but it's not where we're going to be spending a lot of time initially. We're going to be spending a lot more time here in the Chozo Ruins in the beginning. Hey, we may not have to scan doors from both sides anymore, but we are going to scan elevators from both sides. And now some more incoming scanning. Abnormal seismic activity detected. Seismic disturbance at ruins site. At the Hive totem. And that is where we're gonna want to go. So we can scan these pillars that have collapsed. Thankfully, scanning one counts as scanning them all. Got more beetles here. And now, a bit of an issue for our scanning is right up here, Chozo lore. Now, the thing about Chozo lore, and about this game in general, is that I'm gonna go into the logbook for this, just because I want to know what this lore is called. It's called Fountain. Okay, so the thing about Chozo lore in this game... So basically you have the original NTSC version of this game on the GameCube in the United States, which is the original version of the game. But then a lot of things were changed when the PAL version was made. And, like, pretty much all of the Chozo lore was changed. Some of the pirate data was changed. And then, when the Trilogy version came out, it used the PAL versions of these scans in in every region it was released in. It slightly changed a few of them. But, yeah, so the PAL version, or Trilogy version, more accurately, is the accurate version of these scans. They are the canon versions. Which means that, as if I didn't have to spend enough time reading already, I have to read multiple versions of this logbook data if you actually want to see what's in the game, and hear the canon story. So all that out of the way, here's the one in the game here. At the highest point of our city lies the fountain, a wellspring of pure water that flows throughout our civilization. It is the jewel of the Chozo, the Lifegiver, and yet its waters speak of a clouded future. As we come to understand the paths of time and space more clearly, we have begun to glimpse rough tatters of past and future, glittering behind reality like soft lights behind a curtain. We have seen the fountain in these glimpses of water, and we cannot guess what the visions mean. Now I'm gonna read the PAL version of Fountain, although I should note that the PAL version of Fountain wasn't located here. Instead, a lore called Beginnings was located here, but we'll read that one later. So, yeah, the future is a vague thing, ever-changing and always in doubt. Even if we Chozo could gain the ability to foresee the future, it would be a hollow gift, for we could never hope to control what has yet to occur. The fountain is an example of this. The day may come when its water dries up, and there is nothing we could do to stop such a tragedy. We do know this. Unlike the uncertain flow of water, our power of our will is strong and enduring. The will of the Chozo will never dry up. So yeah, that is the canonical version of that lore. And here is our main opening room of Chozo Ruins, our proper introduction to it. Big open room here, with plenty to look at, which also means we got some stuff to scan, but thankfully nowhere near as much as what we would get out of, like, a space pirate base. I know there's a thing up here, thank you. Grapple point is too far away to use. Ha! Joke's on you. I wouldn't be able to use it anyways, because my grapple beam got damaged. So we got a bunch of beetles here. This won't always be what's here. The thing about how Metroid Prime works is that the further you get through the game, when you make progress through the game, these rooms actually update, so there'll be harder enemies in this place later. But for now, it's just some beetles. This object rests at the top of a very smooth, inclined slope. And there's another object we can collect up here. Not sure if I can actually scan it from here, but whatever. Not gonna waste time with it. We waste enough time scanning stuff. Not enough time for me to stop, though. So another thing we can't reach. Just seems like we can't reach anything. And we have a couple more creatures we can scan in this room, too. They're a bit annoying, but they are here. They are very much here. War Wasp Hive, primary War Wasp dwelling, only vulnerable to heavy weaponry. War Wasps build their homes over existing crevices, using whatever materials are close at hand. They carry building fragments back to the construction site with their forelegs and give them into place with adhesives secreted from their abdomens. So yeah, War Wasp hives. Thankfully, the War Wasps don't actually come out yet. And here's some more creatures here. Scarab, exploding parasites that can embed their bodies in solid rock. Scarabs think nothing of sacrificing themselves for the safety of their swarm. When a hostile life form is sighted, they block its progress by embedding themselves in floors and walls. Embedded scarabs violently self-destruct when threatened. So basically, they're parasites. And by parasites, I don't just mean that they're some sort of parasite. I mean, they function like the parasite enemies we saw in the Frigate Orphan. So yeah, we can't go here yet. We have a good angle at this. Is this just gonna say missile? Yeah, just missile expansion. Okay. I wasn't sure if it said, oh, you can't reach it like it did with that and with the other thing up here that I'm not sure if it said what it was. Yeah, it didn't say what it was, so I'm not gonna spoil it. And another new enemy here. Eyon, immobile organism entirely composed of ocular tissues. Capable of launching sustained energy beams when active, the Eyon is sensitive to light and will close shut if a bright flash ignites nearby. So basically just shoot it, and it'll stop shooting its laser for a little bit. Not for long, though. And we can't really destroy these things yet. Oh boy, so we've got more Chozo lore here, and a save station detected, which is right next door. So let's scan this Chozo lore before things get crazy in this room. And again, I want to actually go to the logbook to see this, so that I know which one it is. Exodus, okay. We Chozo are departing now. After so many years in peaceful seclusion here on Talon 4, when we came, this place was a refuge for our spirits. A civilization built from native materials, bereft of the trappings of our technology. We were linked to the land here, kindred to the plants and animals, far away from the machines we had become so dependent on. And so we leave it now, pristine, a testament to the mortal forms we no longer need. We have drawn the veils of time and space aside, and are withdrawing beyond the illusion. But we will never forget this, the most sacred of our homes, and we will remain ever watchful. And in the PAL version, this scan was called Harmonization. Many long years have passed since we Chozo first took root in this land. The passage of time has always been a source of fascination to us. It is the belief of many Chozo sages that the truths of the universe hide within the tumbling currents of time's flow, even as we search for answers there. However, we find illumination in other unexpected places. We know not how the ability has come to us, but recently many Chozo have begun to sense things beyond the realm of ordinary perception. Strange sights and inexplicable sensations flood our minds, filling us with visions of past and future. We take this growing ability to be a sign of our burgeoning harmonization with the infinite. Perhaps, finally, the universe's secrets are becoming known to us. So I wanted to scan that before things got real in this room. Got something else that's sandstone there. And I hear enemy noises. And that is because... oh. It's just beetles. Okay, that's fine, but I know that's not all that's in here. The tree has poison in it. That's not a good sign of what's been going on around here. These guys, here we go. War Wasp, airborne insect equipped with a venomous stinger capable of shearing steel. The War Wasp rarely strays far from its hive unless it is pursuing an immediate threat. It attacks with no regard for its own survival, dive-bombing its enemy with stinger extended. Fast-working toxins from the stinger can incapacitate most small organisms. So yeah, these guys are just going to be spawning from these hives, and we don't have any way to destroy the hives yet. So let's get to our save station. And we shouldn't have anything to scan in here, I don't think. There's usually not much to scan in save stations other than the station itself, which thankfully you only have to scan one of those, and that counts as all of them. But every once in a while you'll find some stuff to scan in save stations. Moving on here, we've got some scans in the hallway that you might not realize were even there. Records show all water in the area is evaporated. Interesting. The only translatable symbol detected on this sculpture is the word Chozo. And it says the exact same thing there, so why did I have to scan both of them? It looks like those one-eye enemies were supposed to be here. If it says, like... it looks like they were meant to be there or something, according to the scan. That's interesting. Yeah, A significant amount of water once present in this location, but it is no longer there. Alright, we got some more War Wasps here, so that's a bit of a pain. Another thing we can't get through, it's made out of brimstone, so that's another material we want to remember. It says a concussive blast may shatter it. There's a little morph ball tunnel, approximately 1 meter in diameter. Toxicity levels of this water are very high. Contact with contaminated liquid extremely hazardous. Now, something I want to point out on the HUD here, which we could have seen earlier, but on the left here, you see that line with the exclamation mark? That is a hazard detector. The closer we get to hazardous stuff, any dangerous stuff like this hazardous liquid, the higher that thing goes up, and it gives us a little beep and warning if we get too close. We can't go in that yet. Okay, we need missiles. I was thinking we were gonna go there, but never mind. Yeah, all the water in this area is just super toxic. Some more parts of the HUD you can look at are, in the top left, we've got our radar. In the bottom left, we've got our visors, our normal combat visor and our scan visor. Here's a new creature, Plazmite, small insect capable of storing and releasing thermal energy. Plazmites are attracted to sources of heat, thriving on the energy present there. They emit light when hunting, and will expel small bursts of thermal energy when threatened. So if we destroy this guy, the room gets darker. And we're gonna have another scan over here once we break this box. Oh, really? No? I thought it was... Well, that type of health wouldn't have been till later anyways, the type that I'm thinking of, so I guess I was just wrong in general, even if health did appear from that box. But anyways, yeah, some more stuff on the HUD. We've got our health or energy on top, our mini-map on the top right, our beams on the bottom right. All we have is the power beam, and on the middle right is like, what exactly is that? I thought that it was like some sort of a compass or something, but maybe it's not. I'll have to see when that thing reacts and what it reacts to. Maybe it's like when I charge my beam. Anyways, we are now at the Hive totem. So let's check out whatever seismic activity stuff was going on. Ow! It appears this item can only be reached by using the elevated bridge. Now let's get that sound effect to stop. So, I guess we'll use the bridge then. But what is causing seismic activity? And of course we've got a boss here, and some easily missable scans. I was hoping I would scan them while they were spinning, because then it would spin me around really fast, but that didn't happen. So this is not a normal War Wasp. This is a Ram War Wasp, which you can only find during this boss fight. Airborne Predator circles its prey and then strikes. The War Wasps are the only species on Talon 4 to evolve a true hive mind. Nesting in damp, dark places, Ram War Wasps emerge in small groups when threatened and circle their enemy at high speeds, disorienting it. Striking from all sides as a single intelligence, they can fell huge organisms. Also, doesn't look like we can scan that. But there is a very easily missable scan here. And believe it or not, that is the boss itself, because it's way down here. Why is the target down there? I don't understand. It's really easy to miss that scan. Hive Mecha, a security unit programmed to work with predatory hive dwellers. A design flaw makes the shielding on Hive Mecha weak around their access ports. These units are second-generation combat drones, able to interface with organic units at a higher level. They train, shelter, and work with hive-dwelling predators. Unarmed, they rely on their hive beasts to handle any threats. Alright, so we want to get rid of all these guys here. And then that opens up. And that is what we want to hit. And now that we've destroyed one, it turns around. And it gives us another one to destroy. And the boss will be defeated once we've destroyed all three of those things. So, the radar is pretty helpful in this fight, because you can see where the wasps stop. Also, when I'm, like, using the free aim thing here, you can see more stuff pop up on the HUD that kind of shows what angle you're looking at. It's not really helpful, but it's a neat touch, I guess. Speaking of things that are not really helpful but are a neat touch, I like how on the beam part, like where it shows the power beam, it shows like Samus's hand on there. And the symbol for every beam shows like the hand in a different position, as if it's like, you know, she's supposed to make that hand shape in order to select that beam. Like, it kind of shows you how her suit works, which is pretty cool. If you don't know, she switches visors by touching this thing on the left side of her head. Oh gosh, I'm low on energy. When did this happen? Why did this happen? Well, there we go. We defeated the Hive Mecha. I don't know why I was low on energy. I guess, I mean, it has been a while since I played, but I shouldn't be that rusty to struggle on the Hive Mecha. Anyways, we can get the missile launcher here now. And can we not scan that yet? Because no, I guess you really just can't scan that in this room. That goes into our research too, but I guess we're gonna have to scan it in a different room. Missile launcher acquired. Press Y to fire, and yeah. So we can break these now. And we got something good in here. We got an energy tank. This item permanently increases your maximum energy capacity by 100 units. It also fully restores your energy. So, we have gone from 10 out of 99 health to 199 out of 199 health. So, that's awesome. What's not awesome is that we can't continue. We need our Morph Ball for that. Anyways, yeah, I can't believe that I took so much damage there. But in a way, Metroid is kind of like Zelda in the sense that it's the hardest at the beginning when you're not super overpowered with like a billion energy tanks or heart containers and a ton of helpful items, you know? Oh, that's what the bar on the right is. Duh, it's the missile ammo. Why am I stupid? And yeah, when I use a missile, that bar on the right empties a bit. I'm stupid. You'd think I'd never played this game. But I have numerous times. To the point where I know where everything is. This is like the first Metroid game I'm playing through where I'm not using a guide. Like the first LP of a Metroid game I'm doing where I'm not using a guide, rather. So yeah, we can destroy that brimstone thing with a missile, although a missile isn't the item we were supposed to use for it, I'm pretty sure. It's just an item we can use. Or maybe I'm wrong, maybe you are supposed to use missiles for it. So we got our first missile expansion. So now we can hold 5 more missiles than we were able to before. And hey, look at that. Behind this missile door was another map station. So let's see what the Chozo Ruins has for us. Yeah, it's a pretty big place. Still got a lot left of it to explore. So anyways, let's just continue our journey back here. I don't need to bother shooting them. So at this point, I think I'm gonna do a bit of backtracking here. A bit more than I should need to, and yeah, I know I'm skipping over the save station. But the thing is, there's just something really important to see. And I just feel like we should see that as early as possible. Now, if we actually wanted to make progress through the game, we would want to go that way. But I'm gonna head back to Talon Overworld for a second, just because there is something there that's really important to see. Thankfully, it is not a long trip. There's actually 2 missile doors back here that I could open up, but you know, I'm not gonna explore every corner of the world that I can explore as soon as I can explore it, you know. I'm usually gonna go to places when it actually makes sense to go to them. And there's not really much we can do behind one of the missile doors, so I'm just gonna go to the one that is very important. The one that we should definitely see as early as we possibly can. So if we head up this way, there was the impact crater that we weren't quite able to get to, and we're still not going to be able to get to it. But we can get into the artifact temple now. The artifact temple that sits above the crater. So we already read this lore about the space pirates and the artifacts and all that. Let's head into the actual temple now. So here, this is a Chozo artifact. Collect it, then scan the totems here for clues on the locations of the remaining artifacts. Together, the artifacts will open a path to the center of the impact crater. And that is basically our goal for the game. Now, there's some Chozo lore around here, so we're gonna have to do a little more reading. Which one is this one? Statuary. Okay. As we have done for millennia, we Chozo work constantly on our statuary. The statues are our sentinels, blind but ever watchful. They are, and have always been, repositories for our most precious? Yeah, that is precious. Okay. Repositories for our most precious secrets and strongest powers. The crafting of each is a long and sacred process, performed only by those Chozo who have lifetimes of experience in such things. We have left these relics on planets across the solar system. Some are merely reminders, silent emblems of the Chozo that serve as icons of peace in lands that know only war. Others wield subtle strength, exerting their influence in ways beyond the understanding of mortal creatures. Still, others are guardians of our secret ways, and these can be as terrible as they are beautiful. Those who respect and honor these relics will know the friendship of the Chozo. Those who deface or destroy them will know our wrath, unfettered and raw. And in the PAL version of the game, there was a lore called Contain here, but instead we're gonna read a different PAL lore called Spreading Evil. The cries of this dying land echo in our ears as we Chozo watch the great poison seep ever further into the living pulse of the planet. The dark energy sinks into the trees and waters, devouring all life. Peaceful beasts die by the thousands. Some creatures survive, but their forms grow as twisted and evil as the force that fell from the sky. Many of these mutated monstrosities remain small enough to do little harm, but others grow enormous and threaten our very existence. One such beast defiles our sacred fountain, disgorging poison from its foul form. replacing pure, flowing water with cascades of creeping death. Even in the face of such horror, we Chozo do not turn in fear. We are all that stands in the way of this great poison, and it is our duty to contain it. Now, I know that one didn't really match up with Statuary, but there really isn't a PAL lore that matches up with Statuary. The reason I'm reading the PAL lore, like certain PAL lore with certain NTSC lore, is because I'm trying to match up the ones that match. But anyways, we've got some more over here. And what is this one? Binding, okay. The congregation of artifacts that hold the great poison at bay still holds strong. Fearful of the potential within the artifact temple, the invaders known as space pirates tried to destroy it, only to fail in every attempt. We scattered the artifacts across the planet for their protection, and only a few have fallen into invader hands. Failing to understand them, they now seek to unmake them. Again they fail. They are right to fear these things. Great power sleeps inside them. Prophecy calls for their union. Come the day that the unholy worm is met by the great defender, we can only hope the artifacts are not destroyed by the invader, for then all will be lost. So we do what we can to preserve the artifacts, and to guide the newborn to them. The time wanes with our souls, yet hope remains. And the PAL version here is Prophecy of Light. Throughout our living nightmare, as we battle with this unyielding darkness, we Chozo see a light. This light glows with promise, chasing the shadows cast by the great poison and purifying that which has grown toxic. It is strange, though. At times it looks to our eyes as if the light conceals into the figure of a woman. Burning brightly, the luminescence descends from space, then retreats back into the infinite blackness from whence it came. When this prophecy comes to pass, when the light recedes, the Chozo's long vigilance of containment will finally come to an end. So that is that. We have a music change, and here's the artifact temple. Now, we can't really scan these pillars right now. We can't scan the pillars until we step into the middle, and doing that will cause us to collect our first artifact. And that's what we're gonna do. Chozo artifact acquired. This is the artifact of truth, the first of 12. Collect it, then scan the totems here for clues on the locations of the remaining artifacts. Together, the artifacts will open a path to the center of the impact crater. And there we go. That one turned orange, so yeah, that's our first artifact. And they count as lore. You don't even have to scan the lore to get it. But when you go to look at the lore of one that you've obtained, it just says artifact acquired. Now, the way this works... The way this works is we can now scan these pillars, and they're supposed to give us clues as to where the artifacts are, and that's what the artifact lore is. This one here says the artifact of truth has been returned. You have restored power to this Chozo totem. And that's basically what all of these will say once we've, once we've obtained the artifact. But before we obtain the artifact, they would say a clue as to where the artifact is. Now, since you have to collect the artifact of truth here to even be able to scan totems, you can never really see what the clue for that first artifact is supposed to be. However, if you could scan this before obtaining it, the clue for the artifact of the clue for the artifact of truth would say, the artifact awaits those who truly seek it. Which isn't much of a clue, but I mean, it's right here anyways, so it doesn't matter. Also, notice that we can't scan all of the totems. We can only scan totems that seem to be, like, 2 spaces away from the... Actually, no, I think it only lets you scan totems that are directly next to the artifacts that you have, or next to... Or there's also, like, some starter totems. Like, I think this one is always active by default, this one's always active by default, and then the ones on the outer ring here that we can scan, like, are always scannable by default. You don't have to get something that's next to them in order to scan it. But I guess let's start scanning some of these totems. New artifacts entry has been downloaded to the logbook. Invaders have claimed Phendrana as their own. A tower sits atop their fortress. Collapse it to reveal the chamber where the artifact of Elder is held. So basically what that means is that in the Phendrana region, we will be able to find an artifact in a room that has the word tower in its name. That's what the green word means. It means you want to look for that word in the name of the room. And that's how all these hints work. So here, there's a tower within the ruins where light always shines. Move through the waters there to find the artifact of Lifegiver. A sun chamber high atop our ruined home became the nest of a great beast and a source of corruption. Many Chozo spirits have been drawn to this tainted place. Release their bond to the world to claim the artifact of Wild. The heat of Magmor was a test for many warriors. A shrine in their honor holds the artifact of strength. In one of Talon's far corners, a grove of life lies. Reveal the pillar beneath the waves to find the artifact of Chozo. A tall cave stands at Phendrana's edge. Seek the unseen entrance at its top to find the artifact of spirit. Within the ruins of our home, we honor our fallen elders in a great hall. A chamber beneath the statue holds the artifact of World. And that should be all the ones we can scan. There's 4 that we can't scan yet, so we'll have to come back to scan those later. Not that you really need to scan these hints in order to find the artifacts. If you know where they are, like if you've played the game before, or if you just wander into them, you can collect them without scanning the hints, but I don't want to collect any of these artifacts until I've received their hint. You know, I kind of want to do things the way they're intended, plus, you know, I also want to scan everything, so Yeah, there's that. But that should give a little insight onto what we're going to be doing in this game. We need to find those artifacts. And we will later. For now, we are pretty much done with this video. I'm just going to go save back at my ship. And that's that. End of the video. So yeah, in the next video we will head back to Chozo Ruins and go into that one doorway that I blew open with the missiles that I said we'd need to go there to make progress. We're going to be going there next time. I'm the Terminian Hero, and I will see you then.